there, I care and you matter. I'm Shannon and welcome to another video. Today is Talk Tuesday. First of all, apologies. You might see my hair flying around. I got a little fan going because ironically, actually I just went for a walk in the rain. Yesterday here in Washington it was like 81, sunny, clear blue skies, and today it's rainy and it's muggy and it's sticky. And I went for a walk anyway because I just don't want to break that habit. I'm trying to go for one walk at least every single day. So yeah, my hair is kind of messy and it's all flying around because I got a fan on me here so I can be comfortable for our conversation. Oh man, I am so sore today. I had been working on building furniture last week, and taking computers apart and then moving them, then putting them back together. And yeah, I have been working on converting, first of all, our formal dining room, which we never used as that because we're not formal people. We changed into we were calling it the incubator, our creativity analog space. And I had a table and a set of bookshelves there. And then fast forward a week or two, and then I decided, oh, we're going to turn this into a studio space. And so I kept I'm going to put some pictures up so you can see. This is what it originally looked like as our incubator space, which was essentially just a table and a bookshelf and some pretties. And now I purchased 2 shallow tables, white, so that they would match the white legs on the farmhouse table that I got off Facebook Marketplace a couple weeks ago. Sanded down, refinished the top. I used Rust-Oleum. I love that spray paint to finish the top. Worked great. And so I'm going to I'll put links to everything I can down below so that you can see if you're looking to do a similar project or looking for a good table. These were they weren't cheap, mind you, but obviously they're built to last. So I'm really impressed by the quality, and I'm impressed with how our studio space turned out. Excuse me. I made basically a T-shaped area. So Jason and I share the farmhouse table in the middle, and then we both have a very small, narrow, not very deep, white table that serves as a desk. And so I'm going to put a picture up of that so you can see that as well. And it's been interesting because it's only been set up and able for us to work in there for about 2-3 days now. But we both love it. Jason is already starting some new projects, and I am absolutely enjoying being out where there's daylight. I feel like a mole sometimes. Even though my videos, the lighting's pretty darn good, and it's light and it's bright, it's all fake. I work in a closet, and there's no natural light, no windows. I'm not even close to a window. In fact, the thing I'm closest to is our bathroom and our primary bedroom here. And I've been working in this closet for about 6 years now. So it's really nice to have another space that is next to the kitchen. So if I need a drink, it's right there. And just to have access to a huge sliding glass door that even when it's raining, I can at least get some, natural daylight. In fact, Nate made that comment. Wow, Mom, that's so nice that you can see a window now. And he's not wrong. I'm loving that. So that has been a win. We had a few little skirmishes, I guess you'd call it, come up this week. And I'm really, really dreading it because I think I shared this in a video last summer. Mark he had some kind of growth on the side of his toe and underneath his big toenail on his left foot. And we were soaking it every day in Epsom salt. We were treating it with hydrogen peroxide. We'd taken him to the pediatrician. Long story short, he had to go to a podiatrist, and the podiatrist said, there's nothing else we can do. We're going to have to take that toenail clean off and essentially start over. And I'm like, oh boy. And he said this, and he offered to do it all in the same visit, which one was great, right? I mean, why put off the inevitable? It'd be more time for Mark. Even though he has special needs, he can hear and he can understand. And I thought, it was such a blessing and a curse because at least we could get it all over with in one visit. And Mark didn't have to dread it and I didn't have to dread it. However, it was a horrible, horrible experience because I don't think he numbed Mark up adequately because by the time he got down there, he realized he needed to take the layer, not just the toenail, but he needed to take off a portion of the first layer of skin. And he stopped after the toenail was off and said, if I numbed him anymore, it would be just as painful if I just finished it. And so I asked Mark, what do you want? He said, just do it, just do it. And I've never seen Mark writhe in pain. And that was it was traumatic. I couldn't even watch. It was bloody. It was traumatic. Mark screaming. And he assured me that, okay, this should take care of it. Well, guess what? Guess what? That was July of last year. And here we are, first week of June, resurrected. Same foot, same toe, same problem. And so, of course, Mark is panicking. In fact, he was lying about it. He was hiding it from us. And I don't blame him. Who wants to go through that again, right? It's going through something hard for a second time is worse because you know exactly what to expect. It's horrible. Fear of the unknown? I'd rather have that than fear of the known, right? Because you know exactly what you're getting into. Well, I had to make an appointment for him. But Jason and I talked about it, and we decided, no, it's waited for God knows how long because Mark's been hiding it. But it can wait till after school's over because it took several weeks for him to be able to walk normally and wear normal shoes again. And so, yeah, he's got an appointment, was it June 19th, like 2 days after school gets out. So, send Mark all your positive thoughts. So there's that, and that's not great. But on the other hand, I wanted to share something kind of funny. And don't jump at me in the comments because this is shared in good spirit. And I'm only going to share the picture from the waist down to protect Mark's privacy. But to give you a little context, again, Mark has special needs, and he does get himself dressed. We have adaptive clothing for him. He can't do button snaps and zippers consistently. That's a story, too. Anyway, so he's in his room getting dressed, and usually Jason gets up with him in the mornings because he catches a bus at 6:25, 6:30 a.m., and so while he's pretty independent in the morning on his own, one of us has to be up in order to make sure he's on the ball and on time and gets out there to catch the bus. And so Jason's looking at the clock and wondering, where is he? He hears Mark rustling in his book. Mark comes out, and it's literally 2 minutes before the bus comes. And Jason sees Mark. And what you should know about Mark is he loves football. There's not much that he really, really loves, but he loves football. And so he has a pair of football socks. And the football socks are great when he's wearing jeans, but Mark also can't make good decisions when it comes to weather. He doesn't experience temperature like typical developing people, neurotypical people do. And so it's just recently started getting really hot here in the Pacific Northwest. And so we had to pack all his jeans, all his sweatpants, all his long pajama pants up. Otherwise, he'll wear them when it's like 100 degrees out. And yeah, anyway. So all he had were shorts. And he comes walking out like a minute before the bus is due to come. And he's wearing his shorts as he was supposed to. But he's wearing those darn football socks pulled up over his knees. Look at the picture I'm putting up on the screen. It looks like he's wearing football tights. And Jason, he's retelling this story to me. He comes back to bed and he's like, Shannon, I didn't know what to do. I wanted to send him back to his room, tell him to quickly change your socks. But Mark would have argued. Mark can't move quick, even when you tell him he's got to move quick. And he would have missed the bus. And so I said, what did you do? What did you do? And he said, I said, okay. I literally said, okay, which probably confused Mark because there was no conversation. I was literally saying, okay, out loud to the thoughts I was having inside my head. So Mark went to school like that and he caught the bus. But I just thought that was a really good lesson. I'm kind of tucking that away for myself, and I'm sharing that with you today because we really do need to think carefully about what are our hills to die on, right? What's worth the consequence? What's worth risking collateral damage? What's worth the expenditure of our time, our energy, our resources, our frustrations sometimes, right? We are all better served when we stop and we think about all the consequences before we make anything our hill to die on, right? Sometimes it really is a gift, and it really is okay to just, okay. Especially if it's something we can't control, right? Yeah. Yeah. So this week, if you are confronted or you face a challenge that you can't change, you can't control, or isn't worth your time, your energy, and your effort, just think of Mark. Think of Mark and his football socks turned football tights and just say, okay. Because sometimes okay really is. I'm going to keep this video nice and short, but if you've watched, thanks so much. Let me know in the comments what you would have done. The boy will be 19 in 2 months, right? At least we gave him some autonomy over his fashion choices, because it was indeed a look. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and until the next video, I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.